I mean, it's special for different reasons. It's you know, was it probably the hardest fought race? Probably not, but I think that's Monaco. But is it the one that means the most? Is it the one that kind of has the most pressure on a Saturday? Is it the one that everyone wants to win? Then yes, and it's more just the meaning behind it, the history behind the week itself, the racetrack, the people who have won there in the past, just the prestigiousness of where it is and what kind of event it is. So is it the one that I'm probably most proud of? I would say so.
On a difficult season like this, you want to take as much positivity whenever it's possible, and Monaco was definitely a positive weekend for us, but you also need to be realistic and set the right expectations going forward. And unfortunately for here, the picture is most likely going to be very different, so there's not much we can take from Monaco here. But it's been a good weekend, good points, and that will for sure help us.
I mean, it's been a great first third of the year. It's pretty hard to complain with the start we've had. So I think obviously the results have been good. Where I am in the championship's obviously great, but I think in general it's been just a very satisfying start to the year. I think we've had a lot of very strong weekends, a couple of blips here and there, of course, but I think it's impossible to go 8 weekends without a couple of things you can improve on.
Yeah, Monaco is in the past. I don't think we need to talk about that too much. But hopefully we can be a bit more competitive here. Hopefully, well, from my side, I hope at least that it will be a bit more similar to Imola. But it's a bit difficult to tell. I know, of course, the competition that we have, from the other teams. I know where they're strong at. And from us, I think we just have to see if we can balance the car or try and put it again in a nice window so we are not hard on the tires. And it becomes drivable where then, you feel comfortable and you can push a bit more to the limit.
It's been a fun year so far. Looking forward to getting on track here in Barcelona, get back to a normal track.
We expect, the Mercedes to be back ahead of us, obviously on a track like this, typical track. So again, it's going to be harder to get into Q3, but I still believe we have our chance to fight for points.
I mean, it's a nice feeling, obviously, to have points on the board, but I think it was a very, very good weekend for the team. From my side personally, it wasn't perfect, but obviously, we have another weekend this weekend to try and keep improving.
Nice to come back with some points, for me and for the team. We've maximized that weekend. Obviously, very different challenge here. Much hotter, a track much harder in terms of tires. So we need to see exactly where we land. I'm not going to be driving FP1 also. I'm letting the car to Rio on that one, so I will be back for FP2. But we obviously need to understand quite a lot of things. It's not a given that we'll be able to replicate this here, but we'll try our best to maximize the weekend.
It was fantastic. I think the way he see things on the car, even statically on the pit lane or at the grid, also in the garage, spotting some things that we could have done better or do better in the future. But also, yes, his presence in the meeting room is always special.
It's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows as well, so it's about now trying to find that consistency and trying to put everything together. I think the last 2 weekends on my side were not the best, also especially struggling with the new C6, but this weekend back to more usual compounds, and hopefully we can get back to the nice rhythm that we had before Imola.
I mean, to be honest, Monaco was pretty good until qualifying. To be honest, red flag and those lots of kind of things didn't went to the plan as we planned. Obviously, it's always hard to be on the plan, and there's definitely a lap that I could done slightly better as well. So, in that sense, qualifying was a very, very, very tough for us, but tough for me especially. But at least until FP2, FP3, I was fighting quite close, and to be honest, pace was probably best ever.
This is our weakest track to date that we've got to, historically speaking, that is. So maybe a little bit less optimism in terms of results, a bit more optimism in terms of exploring the car a bit more. I think FP1, FP2, it's a good chance to kind of play around with the car and see where we think we can just test some things. Obviously, we still want to score points, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is more around the FIA directive of where we're all going to fall out.
It was very, very tough for the whole team in Monaco. I think we definitely had better expectations going into the weekend and just struggle with the pace. Bumpy track, street track, the car runs in quite a different way than any other tracks, and unfortunately for us, we just couldn't get as much performance as the others. So,
yeah, I think the best example I think is still Monaco. No, I think we were all expecting to perform a bit better in Monaco, but I think we did some mistakes with setup choices and the way we did our tire prep in quali that I think compromised our performance that weekend. And we came out of the weekend finishing P9 and P10, and we were frustrated. I think if you would have asked Williams a year ago, what about a P9 and P10 and a double point finish, I think it would have been a great result and the team would be celebrating, and a year later is not enough, and we know we can do better things than that.
I mean, ultimately our weekend was over from Saturday. We know Monaco is a qualifying race, and I think there were hopes or expectations that with the two-stop things would be spiced up a little bit, and I think we're all grateful for the trial of the two-stop, but clearly it didn't change things as people predicted. And it was a real shame because we'd lost our way slightly during the weekend in Monaco, but we went back to a known setup in Q1, and we were right back in the groove, right back inside of the top four, which is where we've been always on Saturday afternoons this year. So that was a real shame.
Honestly, I'm a bit of a loss because the weekends where we expected to struggle, we've actually done really well, and vice versa. So it's tough to really build predictions for this car. What we have done is bought the new upgrade in Imola, and we need to see how that works now in high-speed corners, because Imola is not really as high-speed as a track like Barcelona. And if we can get that under control and have good performance there, then I think it can be another solid weekend for car performance.
Some good results over the weekend will be what we are looking for. We are always pushing on the same direction. I think we need to do the steps right. There is 3 sessions to keep learning the car, to keep understanding what direction to go, how to make the car a bit more suitable to my driving style, and then I'm sure we are going to arrive to a very good window. The goal is to have a good race on Sunday. Hopefully, get into a top 10, but I think mainly just focus on myself and trying to go step by step, try to go session by session, and then try to get the best out of the car, maximize what we have, and hopefully have a better weekend than Monaco.
More grip, more performance, a bit more predictability car. So yeah, I believe that's what we would like to achieve on that, and if we can, I think it will be a good step.
I don't think we saw it at the time, and it's only come out since, but you did the only overtake of the whole race in Monaco after lap 1. Did you know that? Right on the last lap.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know I was the only one. Yeah.
So you can overtake in Monaco, clearly. No, I'm kidding with that. But how do you see...
New tyres.
Like any other weekend, race 9 of the season, Barcelona, obviously, high-speed circuit, it's very hot, so, degradation tyres are going to be a subject. It's a balanced circuit, it's very high-speed dominated, which has been a bit difficult for us this year, but hopefully with some of the updates that we have, it will help us.